The comfort paradox. You might think that building a perfectly comfortable life, no stress, no surprises, sounds like the ultimate dream. But guess what? It could be your biggest nightmare. Studies suggest that obsessively dodging discomfort can amplify anxiety, shrink your world, and turn even small challenges into giant stressors. In this video, I'll reveal why comfort can backfire, and how stepping out of your cozy bubble might be the true path to real peace. Stick around for the next 10 minutes because I'm about to share a story that might hit painfully close to home, plus 5 practical tips, including a Stoic-inspired micro-challenge that can help you avoid the downward spiral of a too comfortable life. We'll also talk about how viral social trends, like living your best cozy life, can sometimes erode your resilience without you even noticing. Let's admit it, from robotic vacuums to same-day shipping, we're living in an era custom-built for convenience. And for the most part, that's awesome. Who doesn't want grocery deliveries at 9 at night or their favorite shows on demand? The trouble begins when our quest for zero friction becomes an obsession, when we can't handle even the tiniest inconvenience without feeling like the sky is falling. Here's the kicker. The more we cling to comfort, the more our tolerance for everyday stress erodes. Eventually, routine tasks, like driving to a new location or handling a minor conflict at work, feel like mounting catastrophes. In psychological terms, we lose our resilience and, ironically, end up living with constant, low-grade anxiety. This is what I call the comfort paradox. And it's not just a modern phenomenon. Ancient Stoics like Seneca warned about the dangers of excessive luxury. They advised occasionally practicing discomfort, like fasting or wearing rough clothing, so that real hardship wouldn't break you if it ever arrived. Today we're going to explore one subscriber's story that perfectly illustrates this paradox, then dig into both science and philosophy to see how you can reclaim control from the tyranny of comfort. Let me introduce Isaac, one of our viewers who emailed me about his life. I've changed a few details for privacy. Isaac is 29, works customer support, and until recently, prided himself on how effortless his daily routine was. He'd order takeout every meal, no grocery trips, no cooking. If friends invited him out, he'd only accept if he was 100% sure it'd be easy. No long drives, no social awkwardness. Weekends? He'd binge entire Netflix series under a blanket, venturing out only if absolutely necessary. For a while, Isaac thought he'd hacked life. He listened to people complain about traffic, lines, or unpredictable weather and thought, "Suckers, I've got everything I need right here in my comfort zone." But as time went on, minor inconveniences began to feel like major emergencies. If his delivery driver took too long or the streaming service glitched, he found himself irrationally irritated. A spontaneous phone call from a friend left him unsettled. Was he supposed to go out on short notice? Talk to people face to face? The real turning point came when his job demanded he attend an in-person event in another city. Suddenly, Isaac was thrown into a world of booking flights, navigating unknown streets, dealing with colleagues in real time. Panic set in. Simple tasks, like grabbing breakfast at a new cafe, triggered anxiety because he'd never practiced adapting to fresh environments. Worse, a lost hotel key sent him into a near meltdown. He wrote, "I realized my safe bubble wasn't keeping me safe at all. It was making me freak out about things normal people handle every day without a second thought." Isaac's story might sound extreme, but I'd argue most of us have at least one area in our lives where we're a little too fixated on comfort. Maybe it's avoiding conflict with a roommate, never traveling because of flight anxiety, or refusing to attempt a new skill because we hate that awkward beginner phase. If that's you, you might be missing out on personal growth and compounding your stress for the future. Because here's the sobering truth. When genuine challenges come knocking, and they always do, you won't have the mental muscle to handle them. Why is that a problem? Well, let's bring in some science. Researchers refer to experiential avoidance, when people habitually dodge stressors instead of building coping skills. The result? Your resilience plummets. The first curveball life throws, you have no muscle memory for problem solving. On top of that, there's a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation. The more comforts we get used to, the less they satisfy us, and the more we panic when they're missing. Ancient Stoics offered the same insight. Embracing small hardships trains your mind to remain steady under real pressure. Here's a bite-sized takeaway. Feel free to clip it or share it. When comfort becomes a goal instead of a bonus, it erodes your capacity to handle reality. Whether you're a student dreading in-person tests because you've relied on online quizzes, or an adult who's never learned to cook because takeout is too easy, this principle applies across the board. Alright, so how do we avoid turning into Isaac? Let's run through 5 practical steps that blend modern psychology with some timeless Stoic wisdom. Trust me, these can transform your approach to everyday life if you give them a shot. First, practice small doses of discomfort deliberately. It could be as trivial as taking a cold shower once a week, or skipping your usual latte run, and making simpler coffee at home. You're training your mind to adapt, showing it that you can survive without your usual luxury. Over time, you'll notice minor hiccups feel less catastrophic. Second, set up micro-challenges that nudge you outside your bubble. Maybe it's signing up for a pottery class, booking a solo trip to a nearby city, or simply walking a route you've never walked before. These tiny steps expand your comfort zone and boost your confidence in handling new situations. Third, reframe mistakes and inconveniences as growth signals. If you spill coffee on your shirt en route to an unfamiliar place, think, hey, this is a real-life tutorial in adapting fast. Instead of seeing it as a disaster, view it as a mini-test that will strengthen your resourcefulness for the bigger stuff down the road. Fourth, a classic Stoic technique called negative visualization. Imagine a day without your phone, or a scenario where you lose power for a night. By mentally rehearsing a possible discomfort, you inoculate yourself against panic if it actually happens. Seneca would say we should acquaint ourselves with adversity in low-stakes scenarios, so we're resilient under high stakes. Finally, I'm not here to kill the joy of modern life. By all means, enjoy Netflix or that fancy latte. But watch out for the tipping point where these conveniences become psychological crutches. It's the difference between loving them versus feeling you can't function without them. The moment you start panicking when a latte machine breaks, you know your comfort reliance has gone too far. Before we wrap up, here's a quick question for you. Where might you be overcorrecting for comfort in your own life? Maybe you never let yourself get bored for 5 minutes, or you decline invitations that include any form of unpredictability. Drop a comment with one mini challenge you'll try this week, maybe intentionally skipping that food delivery and cooking something new, or taking a different route home just to spark a little spontaneity. I'll pin the most creative suggestions so we can support each other in pushing our comfort boundaries. Last time I asked for stories about seeking approval too desperately, and I loved your responses. One comment from Alex said, "I realized I was always the friend who said yes, sure, to every plan, even if I secretly hated it. Now, I take a moment to check in with myself before I commit. And guess what? My friends still respect me, and I feel more authentic than ever." That's the power of these paradoxes when we truly apply them. On top of that, I want to encourage you to share if you've had a day recently where you encountered a tiny annoyance, like your usual app glitching or an unexpected line at the coffee shop, and turned it into a mini adventure instead of a meltdown. It might seem small, but each of these moments helps loosen comfort's grip on our lives. All right, we've tackled the comfort paradox, and hopefully shined a bright light on why chasing an entirely frictionless life can backfire big time. If you found value, please smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Because next time, we're diving into a creativity conundrum. The more you force creativity, the less creative you become. If you've ever stared at a blank page or screen, desperate for inspiration, you'll want to see why letting go of perfectionism might be the key to your next genius idea. Thanks for watching Paradox Stories. Remember, sprinkling a bit of discomfort into your daily routine can unlock surprising levels of resilience. Stay curious, embrace the awkward moments, and I'll see you in the next paradox. Until then, may your comfort be cozy, but never confining.